In the winter of 1945, near Nag Hammadi in Upper Egypt, a remarkable discovery was about to unfold. This region, known for its rich history and ancient landscapes, was about to reveal one of its most profound secrets. The serene and timeless beauty of the Egyptian village, with its rustic charm and historical significance, set the stage for an event that would captivate historians and scholars for decades to come. A farmer named Muhammad al-Saman, going about his daily routine, stumbled upon something extraordinary. Muhammad, like many others in his village, was engaged in the age-old practice of farming, a livelihood passed down through generations. Little did he know that his routine task would lead to a groundbreaking discovery. As he was digging for fertilizer near the Jabal al-Tarif mountain, a place steeped in mystery and ancient lore, he unearthed a sealed clay jar. The jar, covered in centuries of dust and earth, hinted at secrets long forgotten. The rugged landscape of Jabal al-Tarif, with its imposing mountains and hidden valleys, had kept this secret safe for centuries. Inside the jar, wrapped meticulously in leather, were 13 ancient books made of papyrus. These books, fragile yet resilient, had withstood the test of time. The leather bindings, though worn, had protected the delicate papyrus within, preserving the knowledge and stories of a bygone era. Muhammad al-Saman had no idea that his discovery would unveil a hidden chapter of early Christian history. The surprise and wonder he felt at that moment were just the beginning. This find would soon attract the attention of scholars, historians, and religious experts from around the world. These delicate books, dating back to the 4th century, contained over 50 texts written in Coptic, the language of Egyptian Christians. The texts, though ancient, were remarkably well preserved, offering a glimpse into the religious and philosophical thoughts of early Christians. The Coptic language, with its unique script and rich history, added another layer of intrigue to the discovery. These texts had been hidden for centuries, buried near an old monastery. The monastery, now in ruins, had once been a place of learning and spiritual reflection. The decision to bury these texts near such a sacred site suggested their immense value and the need to protect them from potential threats. The discovery was a monumental surprise to scholars who study the Bible and early Christian history. These experts, who had spent years piecing together the history of early Christianity, were now presented with a treasure trove of new information. The excitement and anticipation among the scholarly community were palpable. Among the texts were writings that revealed a different side of early Christianity, the world of Gnosticism. Gnosticism, with its emphasis on esoteric knowledge and spiritual enlightenment, offered a stark contrast to the more orthodox teachings of the time. These texts provided invaluable insights into the diverse beliefs and practices that existed within early Christian communities. The discovery of the Nag Hammadi library was a significant milestone in the study of early Christianity. This collection of ancient manuscripts, hidden away for centuries, had finally come to light. The library, with its wealth of knowledge, promised to reshape our understanding of early Christian history. The text showed us the many different beliefs and practices that existed alongside what we know as Christianity today. These varied practices, often overshadowed by the dominant narratives, were now given a voice. The discovery highlighted the rich tapestry of early Christian thought and the diverse ways in which people interpreted and practiced their faith. For a long time, our understanding of early Christianity was primarily based on the books in the New Testament. These canonical texts, while invaluable, represented only a fraction of the early Christian experience. The Nag Hammadi library offered a broader perspective, shedding light on the beliefs and practices that existed outside the established canon. The Nag Hammadi books showed a different view, a world where people understood Jesus' message in diverse ways. These texts, with their unique interpretations and teachings, enriched our understanding of early Christian thought. They revealed a vibrant and dynamic religious landscape where multiple voices and perspectives coexisted and contributed to the development of early Christian theology. To understand how important the Nag Hammadi library is, we need to delve into the depths of Gnosticism, a spiritual movement that has intrigued scholars and seekers for centuries. The Nag Hammadi library, discovered in 1945 in Egypt, is a collection of early Christian and Gnostic texts that shed light on the beliefs and practices of the Gnostics. These texts, hidden away for nearly 1,600 years, offer a glimpse into a world where knowledge and inner enlightenment were paramount. Gnosticism is not just a historical curiosity, it is a profound spiritual tradition that emphasizes personal spiritual knowledge over orthodox teachings and dogma. The Gnostics sought a direct experiential understanding of the divine, bypassing the established religious authorities of their time. The word Gnosticism comes from the Greek word gnosis, which means knowledge. But this knowledge is not merely intellectual, it is a deep, intuitive understanding of the divine mysteries. It is about awakening to a higher reality and recognizing the divine spark within oneself. But this wasn't just any knowledge. For Gnostics, it was a deep, personal understanding of who you really are and your connection to God. This inner knowledge was seen as the key to spiritual liberation and enlightenment. For Gnostics, it was a deep, personal understanding of who you really are and your connection to God. They believed that true knowledge came from within, through introspection and spiritual practices that revealed the divine nature of the self. Gnostics believed that inside each person is a spark of God, a piece of pure spirit trapped in the material world. This divine spark was seen as the true essence of the individual, hidden beneath layers of ignorance and illusion. They believed this world wasn't made by a good God, but by a lesser, imperfect God called the Demiurge. The Demiurge, in Gnostic cosmology, is a flawed creator who fashioned the material world in ignorance of the higher, true God. This Demiurge, not knowing where it came from, made the material world as a prison for the divine spark. The material world, with all its suffering and limitations, was seen as a trap that kept the divine essence from realizing its true nature. Gnosis was the key to escaping this prison. Through Gnosis, individuals could awaken to their true divine nature and break free from the constraints of the material world. It was how you woke up to your true self as a divine being, remembering your connection to a world beyond this one. This awakening was not just a mental realization, but a profound spiritual transformation that reconnected the individual with the divine source. Gnostics believed you could awaken through special experiences, strict practices, and, importantly, learning secret knowledge. These practices often included meditation, contemplation, and participation in sacred rituals that facilitated the journey inward. The secret knowledge, often encoded in ancient texts and passed down through esoteric teachings, was believed to hold the keys to unlocking the mysteries of existence and the path to spiritual liberation. The Nag Hammadi library, with its wealth of Gnostic writings, provides invaluable insights into these ancient teachings and the timeless quest for inner light. A key idea in Gnostic belief was the Demiurge, a being often seen as imperfect, ignorant, or even bad. This concept of the Demiurge is central to understanding the Gnostic worldview, which sees the material world as a flawed creation. The Demiurge is often depicted as a lesser deity, one who is responsible for the creation of the physical universe and all its inherent imperfections. This being is not the ultimate source of divinity, but rather a misguided creator who believes itself to be the supreme power. Unlike the real, higher God who is mysterious and beyond our understanding, the Demiurge was a lesser God who created the material world and all its problems. The higher God, in Gnostic belief, is a transcendent and unknowable entity, often referred to as the monad or the One. This supreme being is entirely separate from the material world and is the source of all true spiritual knowledge and enlightenment. The Demiurge, on the other hand, is seen as a false god who traps souls in the physical realm, away from the divine light of the higher God. Gnostics used many sources to understand the Demiurge, including Jewish stories, Greek philosophy, and old Mesopotamian myths. These diverse influences helped shape the complex and multifaceted image of the Demiurge in Gnostic thought. For instance, elements of Jewish mysticism contributed to the idea of a flawed creator, while Greek philosophical concepts provided a framework for understanding the duality between the material and spiritual worlds. Mesopotamian myths, with their rich tapestry of gods and cosmic battles, also played a role in shaping the narrative of the Demiurge as a powerful but ultimately misguided being. Some Gnostic texts say the Demiurge is proud and arrogant, thinking it is all-powerful. This arrogance is a key characteristic that defines the demiurge's actions and motivations. Believing itself to be the ultimate authority, the demiurge creates the material world in its own flawed image, imposing its will upon the cosmos. This sense of pride and self-importance blinds the demiurge to the existence of the higher God and the true nature of reality. Others say it is blind and ignorant, not knowing its limits. This depiction emphasizes the demiurge's lack of true knowledge and understanding. In this view, the demiurge is not malevolent by nature, but is simply unaware of its own limitations and the existence of a higher spiritual reality. This ignorance leads to the creation of a flawed and imperfect world filled with suffering and illusion. No matter how it's described, the demiurge was an important symbol for Gnostics. It represented the flawed nature of the material world and the forces that kept souls trapped in a cycle of ignorance and suffering. The demiurge's role as a false creator highlighted the Gnostic belief in the need for spiritual awakening and liberation from the material realm. It represented the limits of the material world, the forces of ignorance and illusion that kept people trapped in suffering. Gnostics believed that the material world was a prison for the soul, created by the demiurge to keep humanity in a state of spiritual darkness. The chains and bindings symbolized the constraints imposed by the physical realm, while the dark cave represented the ignorance that prevented people from seeing the true light of the higher God. Gnostics believed that by understanding the demiurge, people could break free from its control and return to their true spiritual home. This journey of enlightenment involved gaining knowledge of the higher God and recognizing the illusory nature of the material world. Through this spiritual awakening, individuals could transcend the limitations imposed by the demiurge and reconnect with the divine source of all creation. The ultimate goal was to achieve gnosis, or direct knowledge of the divine, which would lead to liberation and union with the higher God.